Very good morning. In this session, I'm going to perform continuous integration and continuous deployment for a full stack application where front end is React and back end is Spring Boot app. So these are the prerequisites. So that is, you can download your front end and back end from the repository given, and you have to complete the following installation. For this exam, for this experiment, you need to complete Jenkins, Apache, Maven, Git, and MySQL installation. I already installed MySQL where the username as well as password is root. So okay, let me download the resources first. Just to click on this Git repository, you can go to this download and download a zip file. Now it is downloaded. You can take this source into desktop or somewhere else. Just right click and extract to a folder. So now open this main again. Just right click, extract to practical 3. Okay, so you can see that there are two folders available, query underscore backend and query underscore frontend. So before trying with the Jenkins for continuous integration, let me try to run the application through local machine. For that, to run this backend, so I need a Spring Boot. So I already installed. So just to go to your Spring Boot Eclipse IDE, file, then import, click on existing Maven project. So there is a existing Maven project. Click on next, browse. So now in the desktop I already have the application. So query underscore backend, click on finish. So you have to wait till completion of 100% so that it will try to download all the files. So now everything is completed. Just to extract this file, go to src main and com.klu, all the files are available. Now src main resources application.properties. Just to click on it. For this application, you have created a schema with the name CACD in MySQL. So let me go to MySQL workbench. As I already told you, I already installed it. So just to click on this plus sign to create a new connection. I am using the connection name as db2 or anything you can use. So host name, username is root. Now password is also root. So let me test the connection. Successful. Click on OK. Now I want to create a new schema. Just right click and create a schema with the name CACD. Click on apply and apply, finish it. So now you can see that there is a schema created. Now there is no table. Just to minimize this. Okay, so now is our application backend is ready. We are just checking locally, then we will try to integrate with the Jenkins. So now to run this application locally, just right click this demo, go to run Spring Boot app. Just to try to run it, and you can see that this application is running in 8081 port number. So I don't have any errors. Let me check it whether it is running or not. So localhost colon 8081. So 8081 simply. Okay, so no need to check this. Actually the application is successfully running. So we will try to access the application from the front end. Now go to the same folder, whatever you have, that is query underscore front end app. Okay, so now just to go to the main folder. So I want to open this folder in a Visual Studio environment. So just type cmd in the address bar. So go to type code space dot. So now our application is loaded into Visual Studio environment. Let me run this application. Go to this 3 dot terminal, new terminal. So the command is just to type cmd first. Okay, so that is npm run dev to run your Spring Boot application. Sorry, run your React application. Npm run dev, just enter. Okay, so it is showing that for the first time if you are using, it will show that white is not recognized. You need to install the white, npm I space white. Just enter. It will try to download the available packages. So okay, now it is completed. Again try the same command, npm run dev. So now you can see that your application is tried to run with localhost colon 5173 front app 1. Okay, let me click on this app. So okay, so now it is available. You can see that this in the front end we have tried to add the items, that is item id, name, OS means operating system. uh, we have tried to add the entries for the mobile, so that is mobile name, mobile operating system and price. If I try to insert, and these inserted items will be listed into the product list. So let me try once. Item id is 1, so I'm just keeping it as Redmi. So operating system as iOS, and I'm just keeping the price is 25,000. Let me try to insert, and you can see that the insert is successful now, and you can see the same in the product list. Okay, so now what we did is we just checked locally whether it is running or not, but our ultimate aim is that we are trying to deploy both the front end and the back end into the Apache environment. So Apache Tomcat, you want to deploy this into Tomcat. So this is our ultimate aim. So before before doing that, so what I want to do is, now both applications successfully run in local machine. I want to push that application into the Git repository first. Okay, so let me create a new repository first. Okay, so I'm just closing, because now successfully executing in local machine, I'm just closing. So let me create a new repository. Just click on new repository. Okay, I want to keep a name for the repository, cred underscore frontend. I'm just keeping it as a cred underscore frontend. So now it is available. So keep it as a public repository and click on create repository. Similarly, I want one more repository for the backend also. So let me complete this front end first. Okay, so what I want to do is, so whatever the source code now available, just to go to this front end, just to go to this, these are all the available. So these are all the available files. What I want to do is, I want to make all these files into the repository. Just to take this address bar, just to type cmd. So the first command is, I want to initialize the git. The command is git space init. Just enter. So there is a git so the empty git is now initialized. So what I want to do is, just to check git status. So these are the files are not yet committed. I want to make it is committed. Before that, I want to make this into a staging environment, so that git space add space dot. So followed by, I want to commit this. So what to do now, just to go to this repository, and you can able to find all the commands here. So up to this add we completed. Now let me go to the next one as a commit process, git space commit space -m space first commit. So let me copy and right click, just enter. Okay, successfully done. Next one, I want to create a branch. So what branch I am creating is git space branch space -m space main. Main branch I'm just creating. Just right click and just enter. Next, followed by, you want to add the remote origin. Just to copy this command, right click, just enter. So followed by, you can directly push your application into the main repository. Just right click, enter. So now what will happen? All your source codes, that is front-end source code, is pushed into the Git repository. Just refresh now. You can see all the files available into the repository. So this is your front end. Now I need to do the same for the back end also. Let me duplicate this tab. Let me create another repository, new repository. So this is for backend. Okay, so public repository. Now create a repository. So let me keep these commands ready. Now go to your application, whatever you already have it in desktop machine. So go to this one, the CRUD backend. So this application is successfully running and we already tested it. So just to take this address bar, again just to type command, and the first command is git init. So for this, git should be already installed, then only you will get it, otherwise no. Just give the first command is git init, followed by git space add space dot mean all the files to make into the staging environment. Okay, now it is completed. Now let me go to this one, git space commit space -m. So this first commit is optional only. So this is for to mention the version. You can keep anything here, no issue. So the next command, git space branch space -m, followed by create a remote origin. Right click, just enter. Again git space push space -u space origin space main. Okay. So now what happens? The files were pushed into the repository. So now our front end as well as back end both were ready, and we already have MySQL which is running in local machine. Okay. So so now front end and back end both are ready. So to run this application, actually we are going to deploy this application into Apache, so that as per our previous installation, I am going to run it with localhost :9090. So if you click on the manage app, then it will ask you the username and password. For this I already set the username and the password as admin. So like this you will get. So whatever application is currently running, you can see under the application. So so before that, please ensure that if somebody is, for any students or faculty, it's not working, means what you should go now. So go to the C folder, program files, and Apache software Tomcat 9.0 bin folder. You have to start this. So you can see that in my application currently it is running. So I am getting this. If you are not getting it, please ensure that just to double click it, automatically it will start the Apache server so that you can deploy your application. Okay, so now our important point is that our Jenkins. So as per the I already installed Jenkins, which is running in the port numbers localhost 8080. Just enter, and for the username here also admin is the username and the password. Okay, so before continuing this step, you need to do some important configuration. So first configuration is that, so here you have something called manage Jenkins. Just to click on manage Jenkins. So you need to install a Node.js plugin first. Node.js plugin you want to install. So that the plugin is available under plugins option. Just to click on plugins, and there is an option called available plugins. Just to type Node.js. For me, it is not getting anything as Node.js. Why? Because I already installed it. Let me try with the installed plugins. So if you are very first time user, you have to go to available plugins and you can search for it, and there is an option to install. Right click. If I click on this installed plugin and just to see that Node.js already installed. For a first time user, you have to click on this available plugin just here. You have to search here. Then, so you have to select that particular package. Then click on install so that it will come into the installed plugins. For me, I don't want to do this step. And one more important thing. After this, what the important thing is that you need to do one more configuration here. Go to manage Jenkins. And if you click on these tools, just click on these tools. So where I want to configure my JDK installation as well as Maven installation as well as Node.js installation. So these three installation to be done locally, and as per the link whatever I have given, you can refer this link. As per this link, I already configured. Let me show you. So if I click on this JDK installation, you can see that I have given the name as JDK underscore home followed by I have given the path. I have given this path. This path to be configured in environment variable. Click on this environment variable. You can see that there is a JDK underscore home which I already configured, which means that Java is available in this location. So similarly, you can see that. So you can see that Maven home as well as node underscore home. So all are already installed and configured under the environment variable. You have to do the same. For JDK, I have given JDK underscore home followed by the path. Next one. So for the Maven, I have given the name as Maven underscore home followed by that path, followed by Node.js installation, node underscore home followed by the installation repository, installation directory. Okay, so these three are mandatory. Once you have completed it, and you can go ahead to create a new pipeline. So to create a new pipeline, so you have the option called new item. Just to click on new item, and you can keep any name here. What I'm keeping so it is a full stack application. I'm just keeping full stack underscore pipeline 1. So here you can choose the pipeline option, click on pipeline and create it. So okay, so now just to come down. So here under the triggers option, click on this poll SCM and schedule your cron job. Just star space star space star space star space star. So there is a meaning for keeping this star star star, which means that so whenever you are trying to rebuild, the build will start in the next second. Okay, so there is a meaning for all these stars. If you want to know these stars in cron job, you can look it here just to check it out. Okay, so the meaning for these star is that, so you can see this. So the first star indicates that minute 0 to 59, second star indicates hour 0 to 29, day of month 1 to 31, month 1 to 12, days of week 0 to 7, which means that our application will try to run in every minute. That is the meaning of keeping star star 5 stars. Okay, so let me go to our Jenkins. Now the pipeline script, here I have the pipeline script. So in our application, I'm going to integrate your front end, back end MySQL through the pipeline script only. So go to this folder. I already have the pipeline script also. Let me explain this pipeline script first. So just to open the pipeline script, and you can find one thing called agent. you can see one thing called agent. So okay, so here the pipeline declares start of your Jenkins declarative pipeline, where agent means run the entire application on any variable agent node. So that is the meaning of this agent any. So next one is you have the option called tools. You have to download and so while running your Jenkins, you need JDK as well as Maven. We already configured, so those configured name to be represented under the tools JDK underscore home, Maven underscore home. So let me have the environment, and we are going to run our application in localhost 9090. That is, it's a port number of Apache. You can see that. So this is the port number of Apache. Okay, Tomcat server. So Tomcat user I have given as admin. Tomcat password is also admin. So these, let me have the backend as well as the front end repository. Let me delete whatever already exists. So I want to replace with my repository. Let me go to backend, or let me go to front end. Take a repository URL from here, not from here. Here, click on this green sign button. Go to code and copy this and replace this front end repository. Similar to that, go to backend, take a code, copy and change it. So I'm just creating two empty directory with the name backend as well as frontend, because while running some application, so while cloning this application, these cloned application to be available under the backend and frontend folders. Okay, and it will try to create two var files, one var file with the name spring app1.web and front app1.web. So this is for the front end and this is for the back end. So it will create, and the next thing, you need to create multiple stages. First stage is to clone a repository. So a repository we already defined backend underscore repo as well as front end underscore repo. I want to clone this repository. So first stage is cloning the repository. Under the steps, you can mention the option to clone the repository. So what I am doing is, you see that for the repository backend as well as front end, I am using the branch as the main branch, where you can check the branch means. So go to your front end or backend application. Here you can see there is a branches main branch. Okay, and let me take the URL. It will automatically take the URL because the URL we actually already defined. Similar to that for the front end also. So now the second stage is that build. The purpose of build is that it will try to correct all the errors. Okay, so if there is any errors present in the source code, you can't able to execute. So for that only we are using this build. So for this build also you need some of the plugins, so that we already configured under the node underscore home. For this build you need a node.js, so we already configured, and also we need some node.js installation plugins. So we are trying to use these one to download the plugins, and so while building you want to run npm install to install the dependencies, run npm run to build to compile the React app into static files. So that is the meaning of this build. So next one, after the build completed, it will try to create a var file. So the meaning of this script is that it will try to create a var compatible folder structure, delete any existing var temp content, and copies React build output into a var content repository, content directory, and create an actual var file using a jar command. So that is the meaning of this script. So followed by Once the build gets successful, you want to deploy it. So this deployment is for this is to build your Spring Boot application. Okay. So the meaning of this is navigate to the backend directory, run maven to build the Spring Boot backend, and rename the generated var file to a fixed name with the Spring app1.var. So next, I want to deploy your application, that is backend separately as well as front end separately. So this deployment is for the backend. It will try to use the same. Here we are using Tomcat username as well as the password. Okay, so it will try to deploy your application with a context path Spring App 1. Similarly, for the front end application, again it uses using the Tomcat username as well as the Tomcat password, whatever I have given, and it will try to use the context path as front app 1. Okay, so that's it. We have completed this pipeline script. So only one modification we have done in the pipeline script. So that is we have changed only the repository. There is no other changes. Just to copy this script. So go to your configuration. Just to paste this script, and now you can save it. Once you saved it, you can find the option called build now. Click on build now. So it will take minimum some 5 minutes time to complete your build. You can see the execution in the console output. Let me go to this console output. If there is no issues, then you will get the result as build successful. See, whatever you have seen in the pipeline script, it will try to execute from the beginning. So that is, it will try to set this environment followed by different stages. Start with the cloning the repository, building. Actually, this build operation for testing purpose, and it will try to create a try to build the file as a var file, that is build file. Then you need to rename the final Spring Boot app with the Spring App 1.var. This is for deploying your Spring Boot, that is backend application. This is for deploying your front end. So you have to wait for some time to complete. So now you can see that I am getting the finished message as success. So which means that our application is successfully deployed. So our front end as well as back end application now deployed into this Tomcat web server. Now you can directly go to this localhost colon 9090 and click on this manage web, and you can see that there are two context paths available. One is this Spring Boot app 1, and another one is the front app 1. So this front app 1 as well as Spring Boot app 1. Just to click on this Spring app 1. Okay, so now you are getting some messages, white label error message. It's not a problem because it is successfully executed. Let me go for the front app 1. So localhost colon 9090 slash front app 1. Now you can see that. So now what we did is our server application. This is actually a server. Server is running perfectly, and now your client, that is the front end, is now executed with 9090 slash front app 1. So this front app 1 actually a context path. Okay, so let me, I think you already know that we locally installed this. Let me try to add two more right, IDS 2. So name I can keep it as some Samsung, and operating system as Android. Okay, so let me give the price also, some 30,000. Okay, so make sure that your MySQL should be running, because we are just Jenkins is the continuous integration tool which will integrate your front end app as well as back end. So MySQL is running locally. Just to try to insert is successful. So now you can see that newly inserted data is now available. Again, I'll go for the another ID 3. So this time, so I'm just using Nokia. Operating system as again Android, and the price is 40,000. Okay, let me insert. Okay, okay. So now it is installed, and here what I tried to say is that the purpose of this Jenkins is that if there is any source code changes in the front end or the back end, it will try to automatically trigger the pipeline. Okay, so let me tell you one more time. The purpose of this Jenkins is that whenever there is a modification in the front end or the back end code, it will try to run the application, that is build your pipeline again. Okay, so you can see that in this output you can't see in this CRUD application, you can see a display option, edit option, as well as insert option, but you can't see the delete option. Okay, so now what I am going to do is, in this application I am trying to enable the delete application. You can go ahead with the, to enable this delete option, I'm going to do a small modification in the backend application as well as front end application. See, whenever you are doing any changes in the backend or front end repository, immediately the pipeline will trigger. You see that, go to this SRC folder, main, Java, then app controller. So to enable this delete application, I want to remove the command lines. Just to delete this, sorry, edit this, and just to remove the command lines. So followed by first the import statement to be enabled. Just to enable the import statements, and just to commit the changes. So now we have done the first commit. So for this commit also, it will try to execute the pipeline, and now you see the second change. So go to backend, again src main com.klu, now the service class. So here also I am going to enable remove the command lines. Just to edit, remove these command lines. So this is the second commit. So which means that it will try to do two times, two commit operation with it will try to update. So let me go to the front end app. So in the front end app also we have to do a modification. Go to this src folder. Now take this app.jsx. Now edit this file. So just go to this delete option. In the 49th line, just to remove those command lines. Similarly, just to come down, last the button, delete button also you have to modify. So just in the 170th line, just to delete these commands alone. Okay. So now we have completed everything. Just to do commit. So now what will happen is, so now three times we have modified. So the first two is this CRUD backend two files we have modified. Then CRUD underscore frontend we modified app.jsx file. Three times we modified. So what will happen? This pipeline, if you now just if you click on this full pipeline, it will try to run the application three times. which means 3 builds will happen. So you can take the recent build by removing the old builds. If multiple builds try to run, you can remove the old builds. So you can keep only one build. See, our ultimate aim is that the Jenkins will act as the intermediary between your front end and the back end to update. So that is continuously, if there is any changes in the front end source code or back end source code, immediately it will build, and that updated results will be available in the this Apache web server. That's it. Okay. So now we check it, the console output. It will take another 2 minutes. So now you can see that the build is successfully executed. So as usual, so now we already deployed our application into Spring, that is localhost 9090 Spring App 1. Just to refresh. Okay, now you go ahead with the front end app, that is localhost 9090 front end app 1. Just to refresh once. Okay, and now you can see that there is a delete option is now enabled. If I want to delete now, it will work. I'm just try to delete this last ID. Click on delete. Okay, I'm getting the response as delete successful. Click OK. So the response, the things get deleted. Okay, so if you want to update something, you can change the price. For example, if you want to update something, now the update also will work. So successfully we have executed. So what we did in this application is that we have created the front end application, back end application, and those two applications successfully deployed into the Tomcat server, followed by we have used Jenkins for the continuous integration. Thank you. That's it for the exercise. Thanks.